Pick Shadow Fiend then. Like, you're a guy who plays Dota, right? And 4.4k or 4.5k or whatever is like how good you are, you know, like is a measure of how good you are. But it's not an actual description of what you're good at or what you're bad at, you know? And what it sounds like you're good at is you're good at making like mid and late game decisions, and that's why you like playing carry, right? Because you feel like if you get ahead, you don't squander leads very often. So now, like, what you should work on in like the mid lane and in the safe lane is how to get ahead, especially when you're under pressure. Oh, you TA picker, man. Countered me. You dick. It's alright, this is a good matchup for me to practice. Ah, it's okay. It's pretty TA favored, I would say. But SF can win if he outplays. Just don't lose confidence, man. You'll get there eventually. You just gotta keep trying and focus on learning rather than like flaming or other things. You know, there's a lot more that happens in a Dota game that you just kinda gotta put behind you. If somebody flames you, just mute them. And if you start flaming, then you probably shouldn't be playing Dota, you know? I don't know. We've played 1v1, dude. I have no idea. I don't know how you think about the game. I don't know your decision making. There's so much more to you than the laning phase. But you seem pretty good. Like, I'd be happy if you were on my team, at least thus far. Being a nice guy means a lot to me too. And you don't seem like a jerk, so I would rather be on a team with a bunch of nice guys than like some guy who's 300 MMR higher thinking he was like the best thing that ever happened since sliced bread, you know? That shit matters. Like, people play better when you have a positive mentality in the game. They also try harder. Nice block. Whoops. So a lot of times you might want to consider taking refraction, or not refraction, but side blades at 1. Especially in these like range matchups, because the range really matters. And level 1 refraction's kind of bad. It's good for the damage. I thought you would retreat. Should have canceled that raise. Oh god, come on, John, click. Since he left, I was focused on denying, because I wanted to deny the experience that he was going to get. I don't know what rune he took, but or I guess it probably was bounty. So as TA, you got to be aware of Shadow Fiend fake casting raises. Ah no, I messed up. I think I could have killed you there. It's okay. You'll get better at them as you play them more. Just gotta practice, you know. A lot of side blades is anticipation, And it's not necessarily anticipation of your movements, it's anticipation of my movements. So you have to like study and analyze what I do, and then you have to take advantage of my movements, right? And if I'm smart, then I'll vary my movements, and I'll make it really hard for you. And if I'm not, then, well, I won't be. I walked into that one. But that's really good. That's like a typical TA thing that you see, is like the following creeps under tower and denying them. It's like a really good thing by you. That's like a very good way to get sideblade harassed, especially by people who walk straight away. Oops, walked too close. Oops. My click accuracy needs some work, man. I cannot click on stuff. Yeah, I've tried OSU burn. It's pretty fun. Yeah, because I understand how important runes are for you getting refraction charges. So in this situation, you should bottle crow, right? If you lose both runes, you just bottle crow. And that's part of the reason that like the mid lane, it's reserved, like the courier's reserved for you, is the case that you need it to bottle crow to win your lane. So like use that. But like because I've like out sort of maneuvered you in a lot of ways, you're still level 5 and I'm halfway through level 6. So like you're not like I'm winning the lane, so to speak, in a matchup that's like pretty hard for me through denies and like pushing the wave and that kind of stuff. Should have pushed harder. That was my mistake. So you gotta be careful just throwing traps onto my hill like that, because I've made it very clear that I have a sentry, right? And you're just feeding me souls. I take Requiem early versus TA in case she dives me, then I have some way to fight back. I also buy TPs very early in case they dive me under tower, because then I can just juke behind a like tower, or a tree I mean, and then TP away. So like I play very differently against a TA as an SF, right? Like I'm building to counter you. I bought sentry wards for when you hit level 6. I played hyper aggro against you to get rid of your refractions. And you'll just learn these matchups as you play them more, you know? It just takes some time initially starting out. And the learning curve might be high, right? But you kind of rely on your mid-game decision-making to sort of carry you. I just wanted to bait the refraction. Took a tower shot. Not worth. Yeah, it's a fine line between playing over aggressively and not. But I didn't see that, so yeah, played me on that one. But like now it becomes very difficult for you to gank me, and like I don't know how you're doing in last hits, but I haven't jungled at all. I haven't stacked at all, but I'm 55-5. Yeah, so like. It's pretty much a farm trade, which I think is pretty good for SF in a TA favored matchup. But do you see like all the like minor changes I make to play against you? Good refract. Part of the reason I get the ulti is the damage reduction, because like most of the time it doesn't do any damage to TA. Oh god, you got the god rune. S4 has shined upon you. But yeah, like your last hitting is fine. Like I think you're good enough to play in any one of my games. It's just what's your decision making like, you know? How efficient are you with your movements? Does your farm keep pace? Kind of thing. You know, your laning could use some work, but it's not like you're gonna get owned. Like I think you'll hold your own if you just play solo queue. You may not dominate, but you know, that's what you're trying to learn, how to dominate in the mid lane. Sneaky dog. Sneaking up behind me. Like, biggest thing for you is to start thinking ahead, right? Like, I've itemized in ways such that I'm, like, thinking a step ahead kind of thing. Like, you're about to hit 6, I have sentries delivered when you're 5, right? You pick up a haste rune, or you're just a TA in general, so I carry a TP to defensively get out if you get, like, a haste rune and go aggressive on me. And like you're capable of that too.